the right source right now. So
The
it
audio
should be live. We should be good.
The audio is the right source.
Mhm.
All right, let's check it. Let's check it, man.
Let's check this audio too.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's go. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah,
Pro Wrestling Podcast in the building.
yo. Can y'all hear us? Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You know what I mean? Yeah,
In the building.
yo. Can y'all hear us? Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's do it one more time. Thought I heard a little echo. Yo. We doing a quick mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, this shit stopped again on this bitch. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this shit, man.
Oh Lord, is it the timing?
Nah, I think I turned the timer off. All right. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Let's see if we good on the other jump. All right, so let's check the audio. 1 2 1 2. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, this shit stopped again on this bitch. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this shit, man.
Oh Lord, is it the timing?
Nah, I think I turned the timer off. Alright, we got the audio working. Alright, we got the audio working. Alright, shit, nigga.
You want to restart the stream?
Nah, fuck it, nigga. This sounds loud, nigga.
Because this is gonna be up for 24 hours, right? So.
I can edit that part out. You know what I mean? Like, nah, we good. The stream working. We here. What's up, everybody live on the stream? Thank y'all for tuning in. We about to get popping on the podcast. Y'all know what it is. It's the Reasonable Crew. You know what I mean? We about to go in 3, 2, 1.
It's simple. It's simple.
Yeah. I'm about to Google this motherfucking camera real quick. I'm gonna record it too. Real simple. Yo, what's happening? It is I, the Most High, Chris. I'm with my tag team partner, Chidi, aka
Chitty
Bang. What's happening?
What's happening? We are the Underground of Professional Wrestling Podcast. If you don't know, now you know. And we're here to talk some wrestling. But before we get into the shits, thank you to our Patreons for patroning. We have some comment up there. Yeah, thank you to you guys, Patreon. Thank you to our subscribers on YouTube for listening and watching us here on the lives and checking out our content. Thank you to SoundCloud for being there for day Spotify and SoundCloud for being there for day ones, and listening to the pod on there. So check us out everywhere. If you tune into our social medias or medias and socialists, RW Podcast on Twitter, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on IG, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on Facebook. And yeah, with that being said, where do you want to start?
What type of introduction to the show is that, my nigga? What's happening, yo? We you know, I guess we already said we was gonna start. We was gonna talk about fucking. We're a week removed from SummerSlam, but that wasn't the biggest thing that happened over the wrestling week. CM Punk came back Uh, last Friday. Very exciting, very emotional, very fucking. It was a big moment for AEW. Very, very big moment.
CM Punk's back. They see Punk back in wrestling. Whether you like him or not, CM Punk is a huge name. We talked about this already. If you see us on IG, we've talked about it. We talked about it on our Zoom cipher. Shout out to Rich. Check us out on Patreon if you want to link up with us on Zoom and watch pay-per-view lives with us. But CM Punk being back is great. I think the moment itself is one of the best moments we've had in the past I don't know, man, a couple of years of seeing him come out to the fans, being embraced by his fanatics, and like when I look at him and Edge and I see their reactions, and when they talk about wrestling and that energy being like a drug, it looks like they are taking a huge hit after a long hiatus of being, sober, completely sober, And I'm glad that they're back to, you know, work their craft. Now, what this means for AEW and CM Punk's return, it means that they're a player right now. They're a player long term. I said this before. CM Punk is a huge guy. He probably was the biggest free agent in wrestling for the past 7 years. And it's not something we can just like pass by as if, it's just a debut. CM Punk coming back is a big deal.
Well, they treated it like it's just a debut if you watch their fucking product since CM Punk got there. Now, I'm not here to be the shitter of shitting, all right? But CM Punk is a very big fucking deal. They did not capitalize on their past two shows. They did not. When he showed up Friday and put the pressure on SummerSlam and Takeover to really do something that was memorable. Now we'll get into SummerSlam as far as why they were memorable. But AEW on the build, we're like, okay, this is Punk's first ever on Dynamite, and Dynamite this past Wednesday did not hit at all. Like it did not give me anything. Right? They make it like so. When you say it's a big get, did I expect him to wrestle on Dynamite? No. Did I expect them to capitalize, like you say, on that hotness?
Okay, what would you determine capitalizing on hotness being?
Okay, wait. Okay, let's look at AEW and what happened on Dynamite. And I don't really remember a lot of shit well, but it's a Kenny Omega and Christian Cage fucking promo. It was a fucking it was a Kenny Omega Christian Cage promo. It was a fucking Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy match that nobody really ever asked for.
The fans seem to love it.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Listen, I'm gonna say this right now.
Okay, go ahead.
CM Punk being back is huge. And what they do right now really doesn't matter because it's CM Punk. He can just walk out there and people are going to go crazy. Capitalizing on it enough is him coming back and cutting that promo on Darby Allin. I think that's fine in itself because CM Punk cutting a promo is what he does best. The fans were ready to see it. They're already sold on the match for All Out. You don't need an angle or anything. You can just throw them out there. When it comes down to it, here's what I'm going to say to AEW. Congratulations, because you guys are doing great business. I'm going to put that first and foremost. You guys are doing great business, bringing in some great talent. You're still showcasing your talent that got over, over the past couple of years. And I see you guys progressing in a fast pace to just be a mainstay in the wrestling industry for years, not just like a couple, 5 years. I think it could be like 20 years, 30 years. I think that there's no ending AEW. But here's where I say that they can miss, book, right now with CM Punk. They have a window right now of capturing the interest of wrestling fans like you who were brought back to wrestling kind of by CM Punk back when he dropped that pipe bomb, right?
Correct.
So you are a CM Punk. He captures your attention.
Correct.
You're a fan. Where they go from now is going to be contingent on how they best utilize CM Punk. And he kind of like hinted at, he's like, I know this is going to wear off over some time, but he's going to enjoy it for now. He said that on Rampage last night. And the fact of the matter is, we AEW fans might love CM Punk, but the fact of the matter is there will be a new star next year or the year after, and yes, there will be a time where it's not going to be as new CM Punk. So him and Darby Allin right now, I don't think there's been any miss. I don't think there's. Yes, I know that you said you would have booked him with somebody else, like a Moxley, but Moxley, or or you would have booked him with someone. You said somebody else. You said it wouldn't be Darby, right?
I wouldn't have made it Darby. If Punk coming in, I would have had Punk and MJF.
MJF, excuse me, MJF. You
Punk,
mentioned
Punk and MJF, and that's another thing. MJF and Jericho, like, man, I can't do it anymore. I can't.
I was
can't
shocked to see that they're
anymore.
doing it again.
Bro, like that fifth labor should have been that. It should have been that.
They should have just saved that fifth labor for All Out.
Oh my gosh, right. Right.
That's what I thought they were doing initially. I'm like, all right, we're going to fit labor at All Out. And they could have built Chris Jericho to this point saying, oh my, I conquered all four of these labors. The fifth one, I'm willing to put my career on the line. And that would have been perfect. But now we just got MJF versus Jericho, and then you're doubling back on it. Hey, you're filling up your All Out card. I get it. So I hear you on that. And I would have had MJF interrupt CM Punk's promo. I think that would have garnered a lot of heat, but I get it. CM Punk's moment, they want to just give that to him. Great. Just get, some free time out there. If they interrupted with CM Punk interrupting if MJF interrupted CM Punk, that would have just garnered so much heat. I think that would have been perfect. But anyways,
because my thing is, listen, Darby can't. Why would Darby lose to CM Punk? And why would CM Punk come back and lose? Right? So like we talk about booking all the time and making sense and things like that. Like I said, I'm not being a negative Nancy. I'm just saying, do it make sense? It does not make sense. And I know Darby Allin is a guy that Punk will like to put over because the drug-free era and they just don't care and I get all that. But CM Punk hitting a go to sleep on Darby Allin, it may be a good thing for Darby Allin to be in the ring with CM Punk, but it does not do right. He's like on a 9-10 match win streak. Doesn't really necessarily matter because I don't know what the fuck wins and losses mean over there anyway. But at the same time, he's in a position where he's strong. He's one of the strongest baby faces on the roster.
Uh-huh.
He's the strongest baby face on the roster that's not in the heavyweight contention. And I don't think they have a heavyweight that is a baby face that's over as fucking Darby. And then Moxley is the biggest baby face in the heavyweight division. All he wants to do is fight Japanese niggas. So like I don't really understand. Like I get the freedom and like they're able to put the spotlight on other people and stuff like that. But my whole point is this: like the capitalization of CM Punk. You had one chance to get it right. They did not.
I can't say that they did not. I mean, for you, maybe you think that it would have been done better.
The match with Darby Allin, I know we're excited to watch, but I'm just saying,
it.
Okay, but the outcome of the match, it matters. Okay, hold on. Okay, we know the outcome of matches matter. We're going to get into it in SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Do outcomes of matches matter?
Not for CM Punk. I feel like CM Punk having that match, win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. Like it's CM Punk back. And they can get away with it. And what I say is this: was that already open?
I don't even know.
I didn't drink it. I opened it maybe. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: when it comes down to it, CM Punk, Darby Allin, is it a good match that you want to see? Yes. Is it going to sell All Out? Yes. That's who CM Punk probably picked. He said he wants to work with young talent. CM Punk probably handpicked Darby Allin. It's like, yo, I want to work with this kid first. And they're like, all right, let me go ahead and give you that match. Now, does it matter of who wins and whatnot? Win, lose, or draw, Darby is gonna be high in the rankings. They do the ranking thing. He can lose. CM Punk can win. CM Punk can lose, and it's gonna work out no matter what. It's all booking. Now, if you're talking about results mattering, yes, they do. But this is a rare occasion where I believe that the fans are more interested in the spectacle than of who's gonna come out on top. We don't know, and that's the good thing about it is that we generally don't know. So I can't say that the booking was bad in any way. Should I know who's going to win? I mean, by whoever they put MJF with? So it was MJF, CM Punk. They can both take a loss? Or
yes, MJF, of course, is able to take a loss if he goes up. It's expected. It's expected for MJF
but
to
that's the thing. Should we have matches in wrestling that we as fans expect the outcome? And I think we get lost in that sometimes where we're like, oh, why'd you book this match? We don't know who's gonna win.
Hold on, keep that same energy for fucking. Keep that same energy.
No,
Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy because fuck it. It's our podcast. We can go wherever we want because we know what we're gonna do. Listen, nigga. Outcomes of matches and how the matches happen absolutely matter, nigga.
I said it did. I said it did. I said it's rare occasions where the spectacle, you just want to see the match. John Cena, Roman Reigns, I think the outcome matters. But Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, I don't know who's gonna win, and I'm fine with it. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm fine with it. You know, like, so when you, I know what you're alluding at. You're alluding at Bianca, and yes, the way that this shit happens matters. Bianca Belair losing that match in 26 seconds after the reign she had, after creating history at WrestleMania, after completely, holding the division on her back after everybody disappeared on SmackDown. Bayley got injured. Sasha was gone. There is no Becky. Becky's pregnant. She held SmackDown on her back for some time now. She's proven that she's a star. She went out on SmackDown and just had a great match, fatal 4-way, and they're saying this is awesome with her and Liv Morgan, bro. Sasha, I mean, Bianca's that woman. I know that, that's gimmick infringement, but she's that woman in the industry right now. I'm sorry, she is. Becky has her fans, but Bianca's it's her time. When you win an ESPY and create history, you don't job them out like that, in SummerSlam in the matter of seconds. Okay, the difference between that and Darby Allin and CM Punk is that there's going to be an actual match. Oh, okay. If they jobbed out CM Punk in 26 seconds, I'll be upset too.
Okay, so my thing is this. When we talk about AEW and the landscape of AEW, and I say, are they too big for not too big for their britches because it's wrestling, but like, are they able to manage everything that they're trying to do? It's right. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, again, I'm hot on AEW. I see what they did on Rampage. Uh-huh. It was actually a good fucking show on Rampage. Also, we're talking about squash matches. Kiera Hogan deserved better against fucking Jade. Even though you're good at Jade. Hold on.
She doesn't, though.
Okay, but
I love Kiera Hogan. Hold on. She doesn't. Okay. If you're not signed to the company, so you could get signed as enhancement talent just because we know you. You're still enhancement.
But even with that though, what the fuck they doing with Jade? That's my continuation to it. Okay. Because you have a squash match with Jade. She runs through fucking Kiera Hogan, and she's already beat Red Velvet previously. You know what I mean? Like I told you, if you gave me Chris Statlander and fucking Britt Baker at All Out, I would be checked out. Mm-hmm. And I mean that because, again, I'm hot on AEW. Jade doesn't even appear on Wednesday. Jade doesn't even want the championship. Jade doesn't even present herself as being the bitch in line. Uh-huh.
Like it's gonna come. It's definitely gonna come. They just clearly are like, we're not there yet. I don't know what they got. I want to see more of Jade. Honestly, absolutely.
I think, but that goes back to my point of being like. That goes back to my point of like. Not necessarily squandering the opportunity, but like you do only got one shot at this. You know what I mean? Because at any point in time,
I'll say this. Go ahead. Finish.
At any point in time, like you say, the next person can come in. They can grab another woman star with a lot more wrestling cachet, a lot more world presence, and that bumps Jade again.
I think Jade.
It does that on the men's side.
Here's what I'm gonna say about Jade. She has a lot of star potential, so I would put that belt on her. If they don't feel ready to cancel Britt Baker and what's going on in Britt's reign right now, and they want to keep her rolling because she's really hot right now, then I don't. And I'm not mad at it. I would have gotten it to the point where people want to see a Jade Cargill Britt match by now. I would have been booking this stuff for like months. But since we're not there yet, put Chris in the match and see how it goes, But right now, it is Britt City right now. Britt is one of my favorite wrestlers. Really. She's one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW. And I don't want to see that. I mean, not that I don't want to see that match. I want to see that match. But fact that we're not seeing it yet doesn't piss me off as much as it may piss you off. I'll be honest.
Well, I'm only saying that because, as you said, they're filling up the card for All Out.
Uh-huh.
Don't fill up the card with things like, right? So doesn't matter, right? I don't know the story of Chris Statlander, and they haven't really done a good job to tell the story of Chris Statlander and why she's a contender.
Well, she's just the rankings, pretty much. Just she's been winning.
And
matches.
that's how we get Orange Cassidy. Granted, he was pretty good in the match, diluting Kenny Omega and Pac. Because as much as AEW says they give us the matches that we want, that is the match that we want for the championship.
But here's the thing. I think there's some people in AEW, Orange Cassidy in particular, that you might see him like, oh, he's a good performer. Oh, it was a good match, and still be like, all right, I'm not into it. Now, granted, the gimmick with Orange Cassidy rubbed me the wrong way a couple years ago too when he first came out and started it, and now I get it. I get it. Do I think it's going to be long lasting for years to come? I don't know. AEW fans are a little bit different. They pop for everything. So they pop for delete still. So the whole thing that Orange Cassidy got going on, I believe he has legs. I think the gimmick is kind of genius now. But what I'm worried about with AEW all in all is one, as a company, they got mad talent.
Yes.
But be careful about, one, hiring your friends just because they're friends. Because there's a lot of people that are in the industry that are going to come out of WWE and they're going to be good, and you're going to be your friends. But should you hire them just because they're your friends and you got room on your roster? Two, hiring old WWE talent, because guess what? Back then they didn't know you. Now they're all on you. When it comes down to it, a lot of people are going to come to AEW like people came to the Jets to just get it back. I want you guys to hire people that are there to wrestle. Granted, we got Big Show, we got Mark Henry, Christian, we got CM Punk, great talent, guys who are legends. Be a little bit more cautious about bringing back old WWE acts and how to develop your act at the same time. Those new talents you're bringing in, like Homeboy from Flight Crew, Top Flight. What's his name? Dwayne Martin. Great young talent. Like, keep finding guys like that you can pipe through the AEW.
Lee Johnson came out to help.
Lee Johnson
came out to Malik, but that's my point. That goes back to my thing too. Like, not necessarily squandering, but like, I'm not gonna hold you. I do not know who Lee Johnson is.
But that's not bad.
But that's not. It's not bad. But do I want to waste? Not waste. Do I want to? Malachi has not had a feud yet, right? The Cody shit happened, but that's not what niggas really wanted to fucking see, right? I don't know what we want to see with Malachi Black yet, but I don't know if I want to see it with Lee Johnson, and that's because I have no attachment to the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, I have no attachment to them.
So you know what I mean. So now again, they're making stories about shit that niggas don't care about. The labor of Jericho, nobody really cares about it.
But here's what I would say: every wrestling company makes stories on their card that you don't fucking care about. You may act like you do, but come on, did we really care about Nikki ASH? We did it. I gave them room because I'm like, maybe it's for a different audience. Do we really care about what they've been doing with certain people in NXT? We really want to get down to it. The way sometimes I'm like, I get it. It's not for me. The Nightmare.
But Factory, that's white people humor also too. You know what I mean? Like,
that's not even a white thing. There's black people that love that shit too. But I do believe that it's really gonna be down to looking at it like a buffet and taking what you want from the company. If they're gonna give you Andrade Pac All Out and a CM Punk first match in 7 years, then you might not need a Chris Statlander and you might not need a Jay Cargill and Britt Baker in the match. You might be like, all right, I'll tune in for that, and I hope that they're going to give me that pack down the line. There's a lot of potential here, but be careful, AEW. I love what you're doing as a company, but be careful of just signing guys that have been left the other company, because you want to keep your one, the morale up, because I think they do got a high morale backstage, and I think they people really genuinely like working for them. And you want to keep the talent level high, and matches like, I'm sorry, but matches like, Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy, when I turn on the TV and I see Matt, I don't necessarily get like, hey, I'm here for the show, because I'm not a huge Matt Hardy fan, but people are, some people still love that. I don't like seeing Dustin have the main event with the young talent
Nick
because
Castellanos,
Nick Camarado, yeah. I don't like seeing him take the victory over a young talent like Nick Camarado. These are little things that I see in the company where I'm like, yeah, that doesn't completely fly with the longevity of what I'm coming to see personally. But I always know that within wrestling there will be legacy acts. This happened since the dawn of time wrestling. Bob Backlund was WWE champion in the '90s and in the '70s. So when you look at it like that, yo, wrestling's always going to be that. It's never going to change. But be careful and have some discernment on who you bring in. Because I'm not necessarily interested in seeing a Big Show versus QT Marshall match either. I'm not. I don't. Excuse me, Paul White. I'm not necessarily all in and seeing that match. But you got me with CM Punk. You got me with Andrade, Pac, and you got me with I pretty much it.
But is that enough?
I like three things on a show to say that I'm taking something away from it. And it's only enough because one of them is huge, and that's CM Punk. Am I buying the pay-per-view? If I was in a position to buy it, which right now I'm just not thinking about buying any pay-per-views, I would definitely, as a fan, buy it. I might just stay tuned with it, stream it this time around. But for all you guys that are fans and want to go watch it and want to see CM Punk's debut match, yeah, support them. If you really, they're a company who brought back a guy who everybody's been chanting for freaking eons, and he's here. Pay for the review, pay for it, and see the debut you guys been asking for. There you go. It's here. You take it. And he's with Darby, so I mean, I believe it's going to be an ill match. It could be a classic, and shout out to AEW for just moving the needle again, and they keep finding a way to do it. And then they got more. Apparently, Dan Bryan, you got to be a little bit more patient for him. CM Punk dropped a little tease on a Rampage about Daniel Bryan. So like we'll see how things pan out. But they have a lot of potential right now to solidify their standpoint as a wrestling company over the next decade with the roster they have right now.
I honestly don't disagree with those sentiments. This is fucking annoying. I don't agree with I don't disagree with those sentiments. With that being said, I just feel like that I want more. They have more to give me, and I want more for them to give me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and
you're like, hey, what do you got back there?
But that's that.
You're like, what do you got in the kitchen?
That's my thing though. So like, niggas is able to do that.
Want the secret menu
everywhere. Niggas can do that everywhere else though.
Mm-hmm. True.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like niggas can do everywhere else. And with that being said, like I think it's only fair for them to come out and give us. Like I don't think they should hold back. That hasn't been their MO. You feel me? And like you say, yeah, they're building things and shit like that. Like, bro, no, nigga, y'all do what the fans like. So give us what the fans like, nigga. We want a 8-way. Yeah, I mean, with fucking Kenny and Andrade and Pac and like put all them niggas in the fucking match, nigga. But honestly, I'm not gonna necessarily hate because I move on from what we see on fucking, like I say, they did what they did on and I mean, All Out is next week, so or this week coming up is the 5th, so they got go home shows on Wednesday and Friday. I'm gonna watch them, and you know what I mean, and like you say, I'm gonna stream it, and see what's going on with it because I do believe that it's necessary.
Yeah.
Like I do believe it's necessary.
I do believe it's necessary. If you're a wrestling fan to watch this show, however you can. I mean, if you can support AEW, go for it because I do think they deserve it. I do think they as a company deserve to get your business if you are interested in seeing CM Punk. Absolutely. And I honestly, I'm just going to be interested to see how things pan out over the next 4 months before the end of the year with them having CM Punk now. How do you then now? That's when I'm going to be like, all right, how are you using this guy? It's been only 2 weeks, so I'm like, all right, you guys want to ease us into this whole, CM Punk thing. There's a lot of potential with him, mixing it up with a lot of different guys. Kenny Omega, we already talked about MJF, Hangman Page. There's a lot of people we can mix it up with that we haven't seen him encounter. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Moving on, SummerSlam. And we talked a little bit about it already with the Bianca stuff. It was to me a great show, except for that one moment. That one moment kind of turned people off for the rest of the show. I felt like it was like if you were a Bianca fan at that point, it was like it took the air out the room for you. And I thought it was a phenomenal show the entire way until that point. And even the setup for Becky and Bianca, it was perfect. It was like literally something I wouldn't expect WWE to do. That was perfect for me, like exactly how I would want to present it. Becky comes out spontaneously. It's a match. Even if they had like a 5-minute match, I would be like, oh, perfect. WrestleMania, SummerSlam was great. To have, like I said before, to have Bianca lose the way she did after what she accomplished with that title is just blasphemy. It's just blasphemy. It's idiotic. And Vince, if you made a decision, it was wrong. It was the wrong decision. Sorry, they should have had a match. But hey, when they came back on Friday, they did the little fatal 4-way to see who's going to face Becky Lynch, and I know we're going to get it eventually. But there's going to be a little stain on Bianca's record that didn't need to be there. It's like if they wanted to knock her down a peg. It's just fucked up.
I can't say. Okay, so let's. It's not really a business and logic, but I just want to just an impromptu business. Like I can't say they're knocking her down the peg when she got like 3 commercials. Bianca, like Bianca's, like you say, she is the star right now. You know what I mean? So I don't want to undersell her positioning in the company because she's a crossover superstar.
If somebody records 3 commercials for you, right? Holds your title for all this time. Do you do that to them?
If
you made that choice to put them in that spot,
they do Sasha for Charlotte every fucking time. Don't tell we sit here and had the debate about the podcast. Sasha is the crossover. Sasha is on the Mandalorian. Sasha is this. Sasha is that, and they'll fucking put the title on fucking Queen Build-A-Bear.
That's the problem, and that's why I'm not having it for seeing. Let me just.
But hold on, but I want to say this though. Charlotte is more dependable than Sasha. And I'm not comparing the direct comparison of Becky's more dependable than Bianca. But when you talk about somebody that carried the division and somebody that did this and this and this and that, Becky did that before Bianca.
And then she got pregnant.
Okay, again, it's a consolation prize of what we say. You come back, we get your spot back.
Then Bianca did it.
Bianca did not do it. Bianca didn't hold it down. It was, again, Bayley and Sasha who held down the pandemic era when Becky went down.
You did not. So yes, Bianca was rising over the course of this pandemic. She had her match with Bayley at Royal Rumble. And from that point forward, SmackDown was Sasha's show, but we knew who was next up. And it was Bianca. And what they did to Bianca on SummerSlam is like they cooled her jets a little bit. That's all I'm trying to say. And I think there's no debate in that. I think there's no debate in the fact that what they did to Bianca and the fashion they did it was like they cooled her run a little bit. Now, granted, is she gonna be on commercial still? Absolutely. Is she still a star? Absolutely. But that little bit of like, oh, your first title you lost to Becky Lynch in a matter of seconds, as the EST was damn near killing the gimmick to me a little bit. And I'm like, yo, this is whack. And I think that's why there's such such an outrage because of it.
I feel you. Did it did. I mean, and here we are. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to feel. I'm just saying that in the hyperbolic chamber that we live in, Bianca, if we're talking apples to apples, Becky could have easily went to Charlotte and fucking took the title off of Charlotte, went back and got her fucking.
She left Raw.
She left. But look at what this fucking SmackDown division is about to be. Excuse me. It's going to be Bianca, Becky, now Naomi. We got Sasha when she comes back, if she comes back. We got Bayley when she comes back. You know what I mean? Like that's a really
SmackDown has everybody, not even just the woman on the women's roster, and I'm down with that, and that's the thing. Like that's the thing. I'm not even knocking getting the title to Becky. I'm not even knocking that. I think a lot of people are not even knocking that. Like they just are like, why did you do it that way? Like and if you weren't going to people are making excuses like Bully Ray saying, oh, it's because she's pregnant, she can't do a match, and that's dumb as fuck too. Like that means you gave the title to somebody who can't wrestle right now. It makes no fucking sense. All this was a business decision that Vince made, that he thought that this moment is about Becky Lynch. Let's make it special. And I get it. You can make it special, but not the way that you do that after having such a dominant reign. It's different when somebody has like Charlotte and Sasha. I get it. Tit for tat, one-upmanship. You get it. Bianca had a dominant reign to then lose it in seconds, bro.
But and I will say this too as well. People who are making excuses are people who probably don't want to others see the other side of perspective on it. Bianca, as a competitor, prepared for somebody, got a second person, and then got a third person. Now I understand the move and the devastation and stuff like that. Rock won many titles with the rock bottom. So hold on, I know what niggas are going to say.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not. Hold on. I'm just saying logically in a championship fight, right? It's a reason why niggas don't take impromptu championship fights. Nigga, I didn't train for you. I didn't prepare for you. I didn't prepare to be sucker punch and then get hit with a rock bottom. Shit, nigga, I might got a stinger. Nigga, I'm down for 3 seconds.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying 100%, but right now we're in the Caping universe. Just so you know. And that's fine. Because if we're going to go from that route and be like, hey, listen, this is how we can rationalize this. This is how we can make this work. I get where you're coming from. But
just blatantly, you want her to lose and just blatantly.
In wrestling, booking, and the storytelling of what Bianca has been as the EST, having the championship, with an SPD, making history, all this stuff, you don't treat her that way. They would not have done that to Charlotte Flair. It wouldn't have been 3 seconds. That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't have been 26 seconds. Wouldn't have been that. Don't do that to her because she's on that same level.
Charlotte, hold on. I wanna bring back this. Charlotte lost her championship.
That's not the same.
Okay. Oh, what you done? The
Money in the Bank?
Okay.
God, it's not the same thing, bro.
Okay.
It's a Money in the Bank briefcase. But I mean, maybe I'm just looking at
what you No. It can be both. It can be both, but if you want to say they don't do
this is her first reign too,
Okay, so Bayley's first championship. We've been waiting for Bayley's championship. She sneaks Charlotte. After it's not a fucking I want to have a match with Charlotte. I want to earn I snuck Charlotte. I got a quick joint.
Yeah, and that's fine. Bayley, that honestly that works to me. It just doesn't work with Bianca.
Okay.
It just doesn't work with Bianca and what she's put in. It doesn't work.
So again, like you say, Charlotte, it doesn't happen with Charlotte.
Yeah, and the fan base is outraged right now because we felt a little bit of resistance of wait, that doesn't make sense, and we're trying to suspend.
It doesn't.
Becky
make sense.
doesn't. If in a real fight, even Becky, this is not like Kofi and Brock. Kofi and Brock in a real fight, you might say Kofi might lose in one match. He looked just physique wise. Oh, he can lose in one move, right? Bianca's not that. Like you don't do that, and now it's like a trend where it's like, yo, people, even black people got a question. Oh, is this a black thing now? And it's not. And I'm not saying it is.
I know, but
I'm not saying it is. But now we got to sit here and think.
Shout out to the black people who want to have that conversation, and I get it. I get it because if nobody else talks about it, then clearly the white niggas ain't gonna fucking say it.
Yeah,
But I need niggas to pump the brakes. You feel me? Because
I'm not saying that it is that.
I'm not saying you, but this is us. We on live. We got the people that listen to us and shit like that. But you brought it up, so now we're here with it. Listen, I get the optics. It does look. It's not even a white and black thing, but you're talking about it character wise, and that's why I say hyperbolic. I don't think it does anything. It hurts the character, but it does because she comes back and she wins a fatal 4-way. Yeah, and we got the match with Becky and Bianca.
We can move past it. We will.
Right.
We will. But we just got to make sure that we know that, hey, WWE, that was wrong. That was wrong. That was wrong. You don't do that to that girl.
But here we go. Here we go. We talk about Caven last segment. We talk about AEW, and I say what they did was CM Punk. I said it's wrong for how he was like, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's different perspective, right?
Granted.
So I'm not gonna say what they did with CM Punk is wrong. I'm just saying it wouldn't have been optimal for me to do. And I get what you're saying with Bianca and Becky. Mm-hmm. It's not. Listen, it looks wrong, but again, she didn't lose it to somebody who couldn't. Bianca didn't lose, and again, I understand that. Yeah. But she didn't lose it to somebody who can't hold that mantle, who didn't pave the way for her to know what that feels like.
Yeah. It wasn't a scrub, and I get it.
You know what I mean?
Like Becky Lynch. If it's anybody, Becky Lynch, I get it. But it would have been so perfect if the match just lasted a little bit longer.
Or it would have been perfecter. It would have worked better.
It wasn't perfect at all.
No. Hold on. I'm saying this. It would have worked better if Becky turned heel that night.
Okay.
If it was because it was a sucker punch.
Yeah.
And it was a rock bottom, but like a tight hold.
Yeah.
Or something like just a little.
Give her a little bit of out as the champion. You just boosted up for the past 6 months.
A tad bit out is exactly what you're saying, because I do believe that what they did with Becky could have worked if they put a little pepper on it. Mm-hmm. Pepper brings taste out. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they added salt, but you gotta put pepper. They didn't put pepper on it. You feel me? I do believe that, because if you look at what Becky did though, Becky is a little bit heelish. Bianca came out there like, "Yo, bitch, you gonna return the favor?" And Becky's like, "Nah, I don't do it like that."
Because she knows.
Because
she knows.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a little bit of undertone between it.
They can recover. I'm not saying they can't recover.
Correct.
And I like what they did on SmackDown. Honestly, every time I watch SmackDown, I'm like, I was pissed off going into it. But then I came out and I was like, all right, cool. But moving on with SummerSlam, though, before we get to SmackDown, we got also another return. We got Brock Lesnar, which I did not expect. You called it. You said he's not missing a payday. And you're right. It shocked the hell out of me. I did not expect Brock. Where do you see this going? Like, I honestly, with Brock coming back, he just brings a certain vibe to your show.
Brock pointed to the Universal Championship. And I honestly don't want to see that. I can see where it can happen at, but if somehow Brock can be persuaded to go to Raw, if they have a segment, because I knew Brock wasn't coming to fucking Arkansas, right? Mm-hmm. So you know what I mean? Like, we wasn't going to see Brock at SmackDown, you know what I mean? But I would like for Paul or something like that to be like, get him away from the tribal chief, like steer him away, because I do believe that that's too much star power on one show, and B, they keep pushing my nigga Finn away.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Finn's gonna get his time.
I need
Finn's gonna get his time, and it's gonna be next week on SmackDown. But here's what I'm gonna say: Brock and Roman right now is a great angle. Right after Cena, and to keep Roman, because who's gonna come after? Right? Who's gonna come after Brock at this point? I mean Roman at this point, that we're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna have a chance with the belt. Only Biggie with the money in the briefcase. Other than that, Seth ain't gonna take that from him. He already beat Edge. We got Finn, but we don't think he's that. I don't think he's right there to beat the tribal chief yet. You might think he should, but I think that he ain't right there yet. So we'll see on SmackDown. But obviously, I think that Brock right now is the angle. Once we get through this Brock thing and telling that story, yeah, you can drop it to Finn. I think there's some that's possibility, but they're already getting through that match. There's a lot.
I don't think that. I think that match is gonna have shenanigans. That's not gonna be a real match.
Okay.
That's not that's not. I think that's gonna be one of those. Yeah. And shout out to again Bleeding in SummerSlam. So SmackDown had the best half of SummerSlam. Even with the Bianca and Becky fiasco.
But we gotta shout out the Bro and Damian Priest. Those two matches
were good,
and they won the titles, man.
So, but predictable. We said we wanted. I wanted either. I thought Randy and Riddle would have been a good singles match at SummerSlam, but them winning the championship is good.
Do you think they're building it towards like a like a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania? Because RK Bro works. I think that it definitely has his legs, but I don't think it can last to WrestleMania. I think it can last because we're gonna get that match eventually.
I think Royal Rumble works.
Okay.
Or if they want to blow it off quick and do a Survivor Series so Riddle can be a contender for the Rumble.
Survivor Series is brand versus brand. It probably can't. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. But there's always Extreme Rules. There's always a bunch of different things going on now. Hell in Cell, I don't know if they're doing that again. They're probably not. They already did this year. So October's going to be something else. Maybe Halloween Havoc. I'm not sure what's going on here. But moving forward, like you said, SmackDown has to have the better of the matches. I don't agree because of the Bianca shit. They would have made it SmackDown for sure. Like, I mean, Cena and Roman had a great, old school head of the wrestling industry, 80s type of match that built over time. And I think they did a great job. Usos and, Rey Mysterio's great job. But I got to hand it to Raw with Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. And I love that. I told you guys I wanted to see Brock. If you're going to do this match, I want to see Bobby retire Goldberg. And unfortunately, we're going to probably get this again. But I did see.
So he
didn't retire him, but here's what I'll say. He did put his kid in her life, which is also another thing I asked for. So they gave me what I wanted with that. They showed Bobby as the dominant guy he was, and he didn't give a fuck about hurting this old man. And that I want to keep Bobby in that facet of just being strong. If they have Goldberg have a match with him and like that went like super long, and I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see Goldberg have any type of. It was better than I thought it was gonna be the match. I'm not gonna be honest, but I don't want to see Goldberg look strong against this guy, and I don't think he pulled that off.
I will say first and foremost, the triple threat was a snoozer. Rhea, Charlotte, and Nikki. Bobby and Goldberg, I watched, but I didn't. I mean, like I mean, and
I'll say it popped me what they did.
I mean, at the end, because I'm like, oh, okay, he just about to beat the shit out of him. You know what I mean? But Goldberg got some offense in.
He did.
Goldberg like German Bobby on the back of his head. I'm like, nigga, no. Like, shit. Nigga.
Not again.
Well, exactly. You feel me? Yeah. So it was a little scared. A little scared. But I like Damian and Sheamus.
Mm-hmm. Great match.
Had a really good fucking match. And I love Sheamus instantly making himself big dog ability. Him and Bobby's gonna fucking slap on Monday. They're gonna beat the shit. It's gonna be a public fucking mauling on fucking Monday.
Sheamus did what he needed to do with that United States Championship. I'm gonna be honest, like he really did he did a great job with that run. He put over Humberto Carrillo a little bit. He give him a little rub, Ricochet, and then what he did with Damian Priest to give him drop the title to him. It's perfect timing for Sheamus to be in the main event again, and I'm here for it. But yeah, that was a good match. And we talked about RK Bro. We'll see how that turns out. But SummerSlam overall, it definitely was SummerSlam to me. It didn't feel like they didn't go to the lengths they're supposed to for SummerSlam. It seems like when you go back and watch this a couple of years from now, you're gonna be like, oh, that was pretty good WrestleMania. I'm the SummerSlam.
I would say for this point only, they did what they had to do to get this bread. You see what I'm saying? Like,
But that's what that is.
I mean,
Yeah.
correct. So like, and also like when it comes to blowing wads, like we've noticed that, like you just said, AEW can't give us everything at the same time. You know what I mean? So even with WWE, we look at it and we're like, okay, they gotta have something in the tuck.
And Bobby and Brock is there, right? And that's one of the things at least.
It gotta be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even Finn and Roman, or like you say, the Usos and Street Profits, like those things have been tucked in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean, for some time,
Yeah.
and even with I think we still might have a brand type of swapping situation going. I think if Bianca does win the title back off of Becky, Becky needs to go back to Raw and get what she got. Like go back and get what she left. I did not understand. I did not understand her switching brands, but I do know
they probably have some kind of plan,
or they had an emergency.
Maybe,
I know, but again, Naomi was right there.
No.
If you're gonna bring Naomi to SmackDown, Naomi would have popped the fucking crowd.
Yeah.
At Vegas for Naomi and Bianca.
That would have been great.
That
would have been classic moment too.
And that would have set the stage for Usos and Street Profits. Like, I mean, it's just a pepper. You feel me?
They went with Becky. I'm not gonna hold them, and they probably were like, "Yo, we got." I hope Sasha's all right. I'm not sure why she wasn't there. So we'll see how that goes. But they were like, they probably just rushed like, what can we do for this show? And they got Becky in time, so to make it out there. And it was a great moment still. But if it was Naomi, I'm not gonna front. That would have been incredible. Speaking of Naomi, she got moved to SmackDown a couple weeks ago, but then we got on Raw, Charlotte talking about the glow, and I'm like, damn, you guys just are off. It's like everything you guys are doing right now is like a little bit off in the women's division. Just a little tweak, everything's gonna be perfect, So whether it was Naomi, Sasha, whether it's Naomi, Sasha, or even Naomi, Bianca, Naomi, Charlotte, all that works, which is I think all on the table here. But we'll see where they go with Naomi. I think that on SmackDown, at least she's there with the Usos now, which brings potential for that to come up down the line and link up with them and do a Street Profits and Bianca versus Usos and Naomi thing. So we'll look out that. They got a lot in tuck. Speaking of Bobby and Lesnar, that is a potential Survivor Series match now, if you think about
it. So wait, you think Brock would take the title off of Roman? And then we get Bobby and Brock at SummerSlam?
Word on the street is Brock signed a contract for a year and a half and has 8 matches. So Brock's going to be around for some time. And a year and a half. He's going to be here for some time. And that means that he's going to have the title at some moment. I think. Unless, he's just here to just work with people. So I think that to get that Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar match that everybody's been talking about, that we wanted at SummerSlam, if you give it to me at Survivor Series, I'm there. Roman and Bobby works too, though. It's going to be one of those 2 matches.
Roman and Bobby works for a simple reason that, like, I'm not really too sure if we seen them to get after it before. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not too sure if we saw Roman, like, early stages when Bobby was coming back and shit like that, and they were jobbing the homie out, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But, like, to
go out there and say, hey, you got 30 minutes to go out there and have a show, put on a show for these guys. They haven't gotten that moment yet, So we'll with that being said, down the pipe, like you said, you got things to tuck. Things are gonna line up, either way for Survivor Series, and I'm here for it.
So between SummerSlam and the two shows that we had on Raw and SmackDown, I know we bounced around a little bit. I did not like SmackDown. I didn't like what Becky did to Bianca. I didn't like that they had the Fatal 4-Way with the same, with two of the, like, if you know what I mean, like. I like it was elimination. I do. I like that Liv and Bianca gave her something. It really showed that Liv can go. It showed that Bianca's growing as a fucking in-ring general. You know what I mean?
It was good. It was good.
It was good.
I like it. I like it was something. I like that it was something different than having a tag team match.
Oh, for sure.
I was
for sure. I thought they were gonna have a tag match when they came back, but it was a Fatal 4-Way.
I got confused when I saw I saw Bianca attack Liv. I was like, what's going on?
No, I saw I think I came back from commercial because I was watching Football Zone, so I watch anything. So I turned back and Carmella and Zelina were stuffing out Bianca in the corner. I'm like, fuck, they did a tag, and I was gonna turn. But then I saw, you know what I mean? So I like that. But then again, you feel me? I only dig it for the simple fact that they did give Liv a little bit of shine. I don't like what Sonya did to Naomi. I do not like that shit at all. Bitch, don't watch your tone when you talk to Naomi. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't like that.
I like it. I like that you don't like it because that's exactly where you should be. So when Naomi finally does something, it means something.
When she snapped on that bitch Sonya, okay.
Yeah, when she snaps on Sonya or snaps on somebody.
Sonya disrespect. She violated.
She did.
She violated like a motherfucker. Didn't even look up from your phone.
Yeah.
Man, I done tossed my bitch phone for less.
Yeah, when Naomi kind of like, when she kicks it in third gear and she snaps on Sonya or snaps on somebody, it's going to mean something. So I like what they did there. What about Happy Corbin, bro? Happy Corbin.
Waste of a
segment. What I tell you is that
waste of a fucking segment. Waste of a
Corbin
segment.
Always has to have something attached to it.
Waste of a segment. But Corbin, Big E, waste of a segment. Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode, Nakamura, King Boots, waste of a segment. Sami Zayn and Dominic, decent match. Put that shit on main event. Waste of a segment. Waste of a fucking segment.
Wow, man. He really killing SmackDown right now. I think to begin and the end, for me, it's the best show in wrestling. It's the best show in wrestling.
It was a good wrestling show.
What held me through was the whole thing they're doing with Roman. And really, this really subtle storytelling they do with Roman keeps me intrigued. It's something that's taking wrestling. It's like Triple H mentioned it. It's like something that is adding another dimension to this thing we call wrestling with the storytelling that it's like kind of like over time, very gradually telling subtle. You're not giving the whole picture at once, and what they did with Paul Heyman outside the locker room, Usos come out, they question him, they lock him out. They question him on Brock. Did you know he's going to be there? This stuff is exactly what people were intrigued in. They're like, who's Paul Heyman going to choose when Brock comes back with Roman? And to weave it in, but without just going out there and saying, hey, Paul Heyman, whose side are you on? It's a little bit more nuanced.
Well, Kayla did fucking do that. Shout out to Kayla, bro. Kayla just, bruh, whether it's on Twitter or interviewing, this nigga can't stay out the motherfucking gunfire, my nigga. But yeah, but I feel you with the Roman situation. The storytelling of Roman, and that goes back to what you're saying about Roman and Brock, and now you got Roman and Finn. It makes the Universal Championship matter, for the simple fact that niggas is gunning for it. Now that goes back to my point with Bobby on the other side. You feel me? Sheamus losing the United States Championship and automatically going for the WWE Championship. It works, but in reverse, it hurts when Damian Priest is like, yeah, I'm in the line too. Like, nah, nigga, you just won one title, nigga. Like, what the fuck you doing, nigga? Like, yo, I wanted somebody to be like, so dip on your chip there, brother. You know what I mean? Like,
Damian Priest, they got him out there being,
but I like it
in front of the crowd on the mic. And what I like about Damian Priest, he's the guy who's like, he's righteous. And he's like, you went out there, you beat up an old man and his kid. He's a guy who's gonna fight for what's right, you know. And he got and they keep putting him in that position where he stands up for people.
He stands up for people.
You know?
That's a really good quality to have.
Yeah. So as a babyface, I like
my
what
niggas like Ted Lasso of wrestling.
You know, so he you know, I think that with over time, David Priest is going to keep on evolving as a character, and we're going to add layers to him. I know that when he probably turn heels, he has a he got that kind of like party vibe to him, party rock star vibe to him.
Yeah.
So he can add more layers to that character, and he's gonna be the main event. That's because they see that in him. So it's just getting him more reps out there with the main event, time slot. Go out there, do the promo, and we'll see where he goes. I think that the next venue is gonna be Sheamus still. I think that Damian Priest is next to challenger. We'll see where that goes. But I don't think Damian Priest is actually gonna fight Bobby for the title. I don't think so. If they do that, I'll be surprised.
So yeah, I like even though that we say SmackDown is fucking stacked for their 2 hours.
They got so much talent. They got Edge on the bench. They got
Edge and Seth Rollins on the bench.
Edge and Seth Rollins on the bench.
They're not fighting for the Intercontinental. And that's the thing. Shinsuke is the Intercontinental Championship and a tag team. Man, if you don't get that fucking title out that boy, what the fuck y'all doing, bro?
Yeah, stop putting him in tag team matches.
Bro, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sometimes it's gimmicky. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course, wrestlers gonna fall.
I like the rib boobs Nakamura thing for the live crowd, and it gets you hype, and then I think you see people.
It works if that nigga boobs is on the outside. He don't need to wrestle. He don't need the tag.
He's not bad though. He's not bad.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that he went from NXT, like not even being in the matches at the house shows for NXT, and then he just jumps to the main roster. Like I would go to the house shows at NXT, and he would come out, but he wouldn't be in a match or nothing like that. And then he came out for NXT, the shows, and he would have like a match or two, and then they just stopped putting him in matches on NXT. But he still has a thing about him. He's not that bad in the ring. I like his finisher.
I mean, he's again. That's we talking about what makes sense. We looking at segments, right? So Corbin goes from he lost this king shit, he lost his smile, he lost all this, all because of boobs and Nakamura. If I'm Corbin, I got myself back. I will want the shit that was taken from me.
But he's trying to go after that Universal title, so he's trying to pay for the Money in the Bank briefcase. But it gives something. It was a waste of a segment to you. I got you. To me, I saw potential in that. But
Corbin left the ring, and they already had a match. And they had So
I hear.
So
it was really pretty much go out there in the crowd for the crowd and put on a performance. It was improv.
He could have said, Nakamura, come out here, buddy. Let me buy my crown back, because it goes.
Yeah, I feel
you. Because why is Dolph and Bobby Roode, former WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, not either trying to get back in the Tag Team Championship? Like, why is the tag team going after a singles guy that has a title and a guitarist? You know what I mean?
I think you're right, and I think that when it comes to SmackDown on that show, they are using Shinsuke and Boobs as an act that just goes down for the entrance.
And I think
rather than booking it as a title that we're booking for matches.
Or even with the act, you got the Corbin and you got Shinsuke. Corbin hasn't won the Intercontinental Championship. But that can be something that he goes and tries.
Corbin is doing is working, and that's the thing that they see. All on Twitter, you see Corbin doing the social media thing and getting over his poor gimmick. Then he got over his happy gimmick with Las Vegas. It makes sense. And they got to give him something on SmackDown, so they give him that. They don't have to.
Exactly.
That's my point. It's getting over, though.
Well, that's my point. And that's my whole thing.
And Big E's over, too, so getting him time on the mic. And, that's how I look at it.
But Big E, and that's, again, it dilutes Big E. All Big E focus should be on, he got his championship contract back from Corbin. He said, I'm done with you, nigga, because I'm done with you, nigga. Like I'm
Yo,
done with you, bro.
Biggie came out. He said no.
Listen,
Corbin left. The
it's a fucking waste of a segment. It's a waste.
I got you.
It's a waste because ultimately it doesn't do anything for like if you wanted to show Corbin's character, you can do that, and then like I said, you can have another baby face that wants to shut Corbin up. Biggie doesn't want to shut Corbin up. Biggie just wanted to get his shit back. He got his shit back. He done with it. Yeah, I mean, now I know Corbin's like, oh, I want to pay for shit, but nigga, what's $100,000? But you know what a salary is in WWE? $100,000 ain't even Biggie's fucking merch sales, nigga. You see what I'm saying? Like that ain't even Biggie's fucking merch fucking quarters, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. That was a waste of the segment. But between SmackDown and Raw, they set up after SummerSlam good enough for me.
Okay.
I would say that's my point. I'm nitpicking whatever it would be, but they set up after SummerSlam good enough for me to where I can see what they're going, what they're
speaking
doing.
Of setting up after SummerSlam, let's talk about NXT. It was night after SummerSlam and their setup because I think NXT had a good show. The best match of the night. Shout out to Ilha Dragunov and Walter. That shit slapped. Oh my god. I'm gonna go back and watch probably after this pod. Yeah, it was great. It was great. That was the match of the night, clearly. But do you think after Samoa Joe winning the championship, Dakota Kai and Reina Gonzalez was a good match too as well. But after Samoa Joe winning the championship, do you think they set up after NXT well? I don't think they put any setup into it really. I think they had what I said is going to happen. Pete Dunne coming after it, but then they had the quintessential everybody comes out and pleads their case thing. I wasn't feeling it. I'm going to be honest. This week NXT, I wasn't really feeling it. The best part of the show was Swerve and Legado del Fantasma, and it was Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma. That whole thing going on works. Outside of that on NXT, what else is working?
What do you mean? What else is working, man? Okay.
Like the Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross match was all right. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Well, first and foremost, I do believe Joe was, Joe's getting this shit up under. You know what I mean? Like, and Karrion ain't gonna fly across the ring. Joe ain't gotta catch a nigga just in case the shit buckle. You know what I mean? Like it was a strikes, rush hold, choke hold type of match to get Joe. I'm not saying he had ring rust, but this is his first match that we've seen, so he had ring rust. You know what I mean? I think it was a good match. As far as what you're talking about, listen, Pete Dunne coming out and confronting Samoa Joe, and then we got Kyle O'Reilly, which I think makes sense. What really did not make sense was LA Knight. Now, I don't fuck it.
Let me talk to you.
Listen.
Let me talk to you.
When that nigga music hit, I was like, oh shit. This ain't it, bro. This ain't it, bro. It's like somebody hit the fucking Super Nintendo and a fucking video game came on. That's LA Knight's fucking music, nigga. Like,
I think LA Knight is like a throwback kind of like retro character.
He don't need to be thrown in this. I can tell you this. Listen, when he came out and he was like, let me tell you something. Who game is it? Hey, nice game. That's right. And I'm like, oh no. So I will say this. LA Knight ain't even in that fucking stratosphere. You know how when we've all been
Yeah.
We've all walked in a room where grown folks was talking, and they stopped talking to look at your ass to see what the fuck you doing in that room, because ain't no little kid supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
LA Knight, you a little kid in that room, my nigga. When it's Kyle O'Reilly, when it's Samoa Joe, when it's Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship, you do not deserve to be in there. And I don't know who shoved that nigga out there, nigga, but that was a bad call. That was a bad call.
I didn't like it. I thought if you're gonna do the Pete Dunne small Joe thing, just have them.
No, I do think
you just keep it on them.
I know. I would say this: if it was Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly, I promise you,
it would have been better.
It would, because Kyle O'Reilly coming out there stating his case like, look, nigga, if anybody deserves this, I done been through shit.
Yeah.
That nigga robbed me out of my first chance. He took me out, so I had to dispose of this nigga. You know what I mean? Like, I never really got my chance. And we thought Kyle O'Reilly was going to be the one to take it off of Karrion Kross. Like, we thought he was going to be
I think
that
Kyle
guy.
O'Reilly is definitely super talented and can be NXT champion. So I agree. I agree with you.
But if it was just take LA Knight.
that might have been the sauce that would have missed it for me.
Now you talking about what else? Frankie and Raquel. Where my laptop at? I'm about to get it. Okay? Give me the sock with a lotion. It's going down. You feel me? Like, so I'm all about that action.
No, Frankie and them, I think they can. We
got Gigi, Jesse, and Mandy. Okay, give me the extra sock. You know what I mean? I'm going 2 rounds with the laptop. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
like,
wait, Priscilla Kelly, is that one of them?
That's Gigi. Yeah.
Isn't that Darby's girl?
No, they no longer together. So
she's still the girl who had used the tampon thing, right? She had like a
Yeah.
She used that in the Indies.
Yeah, but I don't think it was like a real life.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure that's the same person, because that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's the same person. It's the same person. But yeah, I don't think
No, but I'm down to see what they do with the women's tag division down there. But I'm not like people. Let's get into it. Like, NXT right now is going through a rebrand. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
NXT right now is going through a rebrand.
I mean, it can't really be a rebrand when Samoa Joe is the champion. So, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, Samoa Joe's the champion. He's going to be the guy to lead them into the. I think they dropped a new logo. They just had a Vegas tryout. Got a couple of people signed. It seems like WWE model is going to be, we're going to create our stars. Not that they're not going to be guys from the Indies that are going to come in and do their thing, but they're genuinely going to go into the lab and try to make stars themselves, more focused to that degree, I think. And with NXT getting a new logo, what we're going to have to do is give NXT a chance to grow into what it's supposed to be now, because we can't compare it to what it was in the past. I think that those days are gone. We can't be like, oh man, remember the days of, Shinsuke and
but that's not what we should be doing. I mean,
anyways, yeah,
but we do.
We do.
So
I think that's what I'm trying to get at. People are kind of like in this space of comparing NXT and saying NXT is dead because it's not what it was when I liked it. NXT can still be great. It just has to become something new, and we have to find what that new is. Right now, it seems like they are in a space where the energy is like, okay, NXT, it is, obviously developmental. We've been on it for a minute, but it's not the space where people are saying they are going to. The energy of wrestling is that, that's not where people are saying, their week is going to. I can't wait to see what's going on Tuesday night.
Well, the reason why
I think they can still be that, but it's not right now.
I would say the reason why I'm gonna keep it honest. Like, it ain't that reason. It ain't. You know why? People finally realized that NXT was under the WWE umbrella. That's what happened.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Niggas for so long wanted to separate NXT away from WWE because they felt like it was that much different of a product. What it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we talked about all the time. Like, bruh, Disney owns ABC, ESPN,
but it was different at the time.
And Marvel.
There was a pocket of time that it was different.
It still is. But again, it goes back to, listen.
It seems like backstage, NXT becomes more as it becomes more and more visible on TV, getting contracts. It seems like backstage it becomes more and more like, hey, we're booking this like a main roster show. That's what I saw, you know. So I do believe backstage that the whatever the I'm not sure the influence is from the top.
Why wouldn't you?
It should be no, but it's the influence from the top has whereas NXT back in the day there was a little bit of an extension between NXT and they're doing their own thing down here, and we're doing our own thing on Raw SmackDown. It seems like it's now more flowing. We're gonna see a lot more interchangeable NXT pieces, all that, but it doesn't mean that.
But that goes back to my whole point.
They're bad, for instance.
But that goes back to my whole point of like, what do niggas expect? Like, you gonna complain that niggas stayed down at NXT for too long? Or are you gonna say niggas got caught up and not being utilized how they was in NXT? Like, all right, so we about to show you niggas what they're gonna be utilized on the main roster down here in NXT.
Yeah.
We about to show you that because it's only so long, right? We talk about business and logic, right? NXT, here it is. You can only go so long where you don't make me no money. NXT wasn't making them niggas no money. Like you saying,
but now it is, right?
I mean, it's more so on par to be making money than like so.
It has a TV contract, so I would assume that when you calculate NXT the cost of having it, you're able to put it on now USA. They're paying you for this extra hour, you know, or extra hours, 2 hours. They built it up to a point where now it makes them money. I would assume.
Okay, so again, so now you talk about now we're in the forms of things. So now we're talking about art and we talk about this all the time. Art and business. When it's mainstream, is what? It's mainstream.
It's mainstream. You gotta take what you're gonna give you. Because it's gonna be cookie cutter, it's gonna be formulaic, it's gonna be the way they fucking got the formula down. You know, and you're gonna be able to see it sometimes. You're gonna be able to visually see, oh, they did that because it's business.
But you can still be able to see. But again, so like we talk about West, right? We talk about West Side and how you can maintain your cultural independence and become mainstream with that. You know, Jeezy talked about it as well. Like, yo, I gotta stop talking about selling blow. But nigga, I got to this point because I talked about selling blow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but at some point in time though, nigga, you gotta stop talking about selling blow. So with NXT, you know what I mean? Like we're talking about these independent stars and whatever the case may be and making stars and shit like that. Like at some point in time, this isn't gonna be the indie darling show.
Yeah.
There's other people in other places now. Clearly, we talk about there's other places for you to go. Okay, my nigga, you want to be an independent darling? Go do it. You came to WWE to be a WWE superstar. You also came to WWE to be an NXT superstar. And whatever NXT superstardom comes with, you would then have to be able to adapt with that. So as NXT continued to, we went from the, like you say, the stages of Samoa Joe and Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville's and Tyler Breeze's. Like we built that independent kind of core base, and then we started bringing in literally mainstream niggas in. We started bringing in Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens. We brought in Samoa Joe. We brought in Prince Devitt, Finn Balor. Like these are mainstream niggas that we are also trying to develop into being phenomenons. Yeah. Finn Balor is wearing fucking pride shirts in fucking Saudi Arabia. Niggas get beheaded for shit like that. But because he's a fucking global superstar, He can promote himself because he made himself to be a superstar. And I think that's what they're developing. Big E is a product of NXT. Never had wrestling. He's not no fucking indie darling. He's a PC nigga. Bianca Belair, who we cape for. No wrestling experience. A PC nigga. You see what I'm saying? So they are literally looking at themselves like, nigga, we can do this with any fucking body. We can do this with, of course, anybody. Of course. So yeah, we're gonna change our motto up because we need to, at this point in time, let niggas know that we've done it every way possible.
Yeah. At this point,
we've done it every which way we can. We brought niggas up from the ground up. We brought niggas that wasn't getting exposure. We brought
niggas back. We've
done everything that
they're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna keep doing it their way.
Exactly. And I think the new reincarnation of NXT right now is great because if you look at what it looks like, they're talking about it's going to be a youth movement and everything like that. But like realistically, it is going to get those fresh faces exposure.
Yeah. We got the breakout tournament. We got Odyssey Jones and
Carmelo
Hayes. Great new talent that honestly we'll see them develop over time. And that's what it's about. I think that WWE shown that they can take somebody that we don't know anything about and make them into massive stars, like you say, i.e. Sasha Banks, i.e. Big E, where we're like, now we want to see these guys.
Charlotte Flair was a personal trainer, bruh. Charlotte Flair only got into wrestling because Reed passed. And she was like, listen, all right, like this old nigga gonna kill himself if don't nobody take on this legacy of what he built. Charlotte actually saw that, got her craft honed, and because she was the most supremely gifted natural athlete there, she took to it. And now she's a 12-time champion, and she's a PC product.
Yeah, she is. She wasn't in the Indies.
She wasn't in the Indies. She wasn't like Becky Lynch at Shimmer. She wasn't in Mercedes KV out in Boston. Like, so out of the four horse, she wasn't even Bailey. She wasn't Rose, right? Charlotte is the most decorated woman out of the four horsewomen without fucking formal training.
But I don't think it's exclusive where they're not going to take anybody from the Indies. I
don't think it's exclusive to that either.
Definitely belongs to WWE one day. I want to see Fatu.
But once Fatu makes the jump, Fatu. My thing now though is when we're talking about the transition of what it is, I do believe that it's going to be a youth movement.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
It's time to bring in the new blood too. Because at one time, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were the youth movement. At one time,
and them niggas was 40.
Yeah, but they were
the fresh faces.
That's what I mean. But it's where we are going wrestling, and I think we're gonna see people pop up with new gimmicks, new fresh face, new everything to make us interested in NXT. I think that right now we're in a pivotal point, though, for real. I think we're in a transitional point.
I mean, NXT, let's keep it a buck. NXT ain't never had a bad period. You can't tell me a period where NXT has been bad. Right?
Not bad. It used to be my favorite thing in wrestling at one point. Now, it's not ever bad, though. But I still watch it every single week.
And so, my thing is, like, NXT pushed the main roster, and NXT influenced the independent scene. So therefore, NXT is legendary in its own right. With that being said, NXT only elevated, like, what bumped NXT out the way? SmackDown. And the reason why, because SmackDown has better talent. Yeah. Right? Of course, if you give me Bianca and Roman and fucking Finn and Street Profits and Usos and you book it right and you give me good TV, it's going to be a better 2 hours of NXT. You know what I mean? But NXT elevated that. And NXT is still going to give you shit like Hit Row and Legado, and they're still going to give you fucking, damn, Samoa Joe's on commentary for 2 years. So they're still going to give you that feel. You know what I mean? But there are, like you said, a transition period where they're not going to have the talent there. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what goes back to what NXT was. Is NXT a developmental? Is it a third brand? It's both nigga. Yeah. It's both. It's a third brand that's developmental. Because regardless if fucking Samoa Joe comes in, Samoa Joe done perform thousands and thousands of matches. Samoa Joe knows where the hard camera is and shit like that. Do Samoa Joe know where the commercial break is coming? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like Adam Cole, yes, he's worked thousands of venues, but nigga, we are here at a stadium. Has he ever worked a stadium before? You know what I mean? Like, so it's developmental in the fact that, like, yo, we are still constantly developing. Eric Bieniemy right now was with Patrick Mahomes. Guess what they're doing? Developing new shit to be completely elevated than what it was last. So it's always going to be a developmental, and it's always going to be a brand. So
and what I think that people got to find out in NXT and with the PC as a whole is that, you know, you're there to find what you are, not what everybody wants. You know, find what you are, not what everybody wants, because that's how you get over. When you find yourself, you know, when it comes down to, you know, developmental, that's what it is. Even on the main roster, there's some people who need to find who they are. They're still developing as their character. So it's never an ending thing if you really look at it that way. Even in AEW, you know, you just got the moment.
Even
on the football field, I was just talking about the Jets before, and I'm not talking about the podcast, but have a young team, a bunch of rookies and second year rookies. We got to develop these guys, you know, and that's what this year is going to be, you know. But when you have new talent, doesn't mean that you're not going to have another year where you're going to have to develop. You know, it doesn't mean that some people are going to pop off the screen, and that's what we're doing. They're doing. They're approaching it from a standpoint of, all right, we're bringing in these rookies and we're going to start from scratch.
And honestly, that, like, realistically, like when we talk about Nick Khan and shit like that, like Nick Khan was a part of the transformation over at ESPN. The nigga saw the transformation, the familiar faces, the people that we got all. Now you telling us you don't know who the fuck, but it don't matter.
Yeah,
because that is the brand.
That's the brand. And that's where you're gonna go to. That's when you want to hear this.
And that's what that's what Nick Khan is bringing over. Right, we already knew that WWE knew that they were the brand, but sometimes people become bigger than the brand. People, you know, we talk about people, CM Punk, Bret Hart, whatever. Yeah. They're too big for Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Kevin Nash. They're too big for their britches of the brand. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. But what you know is that the brand is going to stay.
Yeah,
and I think,
we know what it is at this point, and we know what it's going to be. Like WWE is going to be around. So it's going to be in the Disney, like you say, the staple when it comes to professional wrestling. This art form. That's the staple.
And that's what NXT is now going. Now NXT has solidified itself. It's 10 years now, bro. It's 10 years now. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about with AEW. Can it maintain the longevity and keep the peak interest of what NXT
used to be? That's what I'm saying, and that's where we're at. That's what we're gonna find out.
This is like this is the time we're gonna find out.
This is what we're gonna find out.
When NXT was on Hulu, and we had to go search for Cesaro and Sami Zayn because that's what the internet was talking about. We went to go do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Then when they had the special, the Fatal 4-Way with Neville and Breeze and fucking Tyson Kidd and who's the fourth person in that bitch?
Tyson, Pac, and Tyler Breeze.
Okay, yeah. So you know what I mean? Like that is like, oh, okay, this is different wrestling. This is different than the main roster. Yeah. This is different than Raw, SmackDown. Okay, I'm gonna come back. And then, oh shit, they got women wrestling popping. They got Paige, they got Natty, they got Charlotte, they got Emma. You know what I mean? Then they bring in a new wave of Bailey, Becky, and Sasha. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, cause nigga, Charlotte and Emma was the Charlotte and Natalia was the finals, I believe, and then Emma and Paige was the first the finals of the championship. But like those were the four women that brought me to NXT. Those so. Like you say, AEW, but NXT is always
Natalia and Charlotte. That was
Rick and Brat's on the opposite side. You feel me? But that is what NXT's always been. I've never lost that with that. Okay, you feel me? Like I've never lost that with NXT. So even through the growing pains and shit like that, and it may not be as hot, it has always been the most constant and most consistent wrestling for the past half a decade.
Okay. All
And
right.
I don't think
And,
that.
and yeah, like when being on SummerSlam, we're watching it on our Zoom software, like NXT can give the best matches, and I'm like, are you sure? And then I go back and I watch Ehal Dragunov and Walter, and I'm like, holy shit, he was right. Like NXT delivers great matches, and those young cats, they go, man. So I know that this is a transitional period, though, still, as far as storytelling, as far as intrigue, and I'm curious to see where they go from here. But like I say, find yourself. Like like what Rick Booz is, like you were saying, he's not the best wrestler, but he found himself, and now he's on the main stage in SmackDown, and doing his air guitar is not his not air guitar, his electric
Electric guitar.
guitar at SummerSlam. Think about that. Just a second ago we saw him at freaking halftime heat backstage. With the guitar. And now he's on SummerSlam not too long later because he found himself, found what he does best. So even in AEW, and they're going to be tested during this time too to see if they can have people find themselves, find exactly what they do best. That's going to make them a star in the wrestling industry. But when it comes to NXT and the pivot and the new logo and the youth movement or whatever may be happening, I'm going to be tuning in because I trust that, you know, there is magic still to be had. Now, Samoa Joe is down there too, and he's a great mind. So I know he's going to be an influence as well. So it's going to be dope to see how things change.
So speaking of that, we saw the logo change, and I think is for the best that they continue to evolve and not.
It's gonna be one day where it's like, oh, classic NXT night. It's gonna be
Well,
like that.
but
Like we do classic Raw night,
that's what
classic
I'm
SmackDown.
saying. Like
That's
I
what they're doing.
I think it's very important. I think it's very important that they do that. I think it's very important that they continue to
They're not with Full Sail anymore, by the way, either.
yeah.
So they ended their contract with Full
I
Sail.
mean, because again,
So it's a big shift, even behind the scenes of how they operate. They used to have to take a shuttle to go see the. Now at the Capitol Wrestling Center, you they're no longer there. So when it comes down to it, not just on TV, behind the scenes, things are shifting, and I think the logo represents that.
and I think to give people some kind of you know comfort, we still give you that feel. Samoa Joe didn't go nowhere else. He didn't go to AEW when it got released. He could have.
Now he's telling people, yo, if you want to come see me, come here. He's like, yo, he's top dog. If you want to fight Samoa Joe, you know where to find him.
So I mean, and that goes, Adam Cole. What I mean. Like Adam Cole, I don't think Adam Cole and Joe makes a little bit of sense, but I would love Adam Cole and Joe. I would love Joe to send Adam Cole out.
They still have Adam Cole if he's not gone
I
already.
mean, yeah, but that's my thing though. Like I think
I
NXT.
would have loved that.
I
Honestly, it
think
would have been
I
dope.
think
It
NXT
would have been
has.
better than what they could do with Carrion, honestly.
I think NXT has built up that though. What we're talking about exactly right now. Like they still have some of the best performers in the world under their umbrella, and they do usually give us those matches.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
and it's granted that things are gonna always move. Where let's
yep.
say somebody gets called up or whatever, it's gonna be that brand. So we know what to expect from it. But we're here to watch it. Right now, we'll give it some time. Right now, Pete Dunne, I hope we're getting that Pete Dunne Samoa Joe thing as far as creative goes. But business wise, NXT has changed the business as well. You want to talk about AEW changing the business? NXT was the first like other brand to like give a different flavor of wrestling at a time that it was needed.
And NXT did it under again. That's how you get a Levitar show. That's how you get Collinsworth to move on and do what he's doing. You rage against the machine in the machine. You see what I'm saying? Like you go you're like you can be under the umbrella because you have the protection of the umbrella, you got the infrastructure of the umbrella, you got the money of the umbrella, you got the production, you got the marketing of the umbrella, but you are counterculture to the umbrella.
Yeah.
And NXT was the very first person to do something like that outside of Finn again in New Japan when he brought the Bullet Club together.
Everything goes back to Finn.
Everything goes back to the Renaissance man, my nigga, and everything, yo.
It's so true that like when you really think about it, and the more high I get, the more it makes sense.
Before we wrap up, speaking of NXT, speaking of the youth movement, speaking of the culture change, I do believe that um, Carmelo Hayes is my book in black. He won the breakout tournament. He won a contract to go against any champion. Do not use that against Samoa Joe. Don't fucking do it. Okay. Um, I would love to see Carmelo Hayes and Swerve.
Yeah, I think that's
That's what you got to do. They got the swagger, both of them. They got the fuck. Both black. You know what I mean? But clearly, booking black.
Do you think it should be like they're trying to recruit him to Hit Row, or you think it's just like just pop off?
No, I think honestly, because I like what Finn did. Finn popped off against Roman. Like, look, I'm calling my shot. Threw the mic at him, jawed that nigga, got his ass whooped. But that's how you earn respect in the yard. You feel me? I think Carmelo comes out.
They really do put Finn in the best position. They protect him, and I like the way they do it. They
as much as Finn does. Again, like Finn doesn't like Broadway, but listen, if you come to Broadway, we're gonna give you the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, bro, you were our very first Universal Champion. Like, we saw something in you. You just couldn't take a fucking buckle bomb to the outside correctly and fucking rip your shoulder off.
Yeah.
And clearly you know how this game goes. You move it, you lose it. You know what I mean? Like in football, they say it all the time: the best ability is availability.
The best ability is availability.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, regardless of this, so he has been itching and scratching to get back to that spot. But since he's left, we saw the progression and the evolution of so many great wrestlers over that time to where, like, yeah, Finn, you kind of do got to take a step back. And when the time is right, we can throw you back in. Because we can't always throw you back in, but if we got a plan already, clearly Finn could have been Becky Lynch when he came back from surgery, came back and got his title. But shit, at that point in time, nigga, like the Universal Championship, I believe. Damn, I can't even remember who was on. Bro, think. And at that time, like, Finn, nigga, you tore your shoulder, nigga. Ain't no way about to take you fearless against Brock. But like you say, you go to Carmelo Hayes situation. And
he just came out there and
comes out there and calls this shot. Like you say, I call my shot, don't miss.
All right.
Yeah, I call my shot. But
I think that immediately on site causes friction with him and Swerve. Yeah. And all right, let's see if he doesn't miss. And honestly, with Row at Swerve's side, it creates a dynamic that he has to overcome.
But Swerve got to get through Legato.
Swerve got to get through Legato. Yeah. He has to get through all of them first, yeah. So they have to do that and get to Carmelo, I guess, calling a shot eventually. Or is it like Money in the Bank where it's on the spot, or is it like you gotta say, okay, it's gonna be a date?
I honestly, I'm more than likely, like, if he's smart, he's gonna
take over.
Of course. Yeah. I think that would be.
Do you book Carmelo to be Swerve though? If you're booking
him? Yes. No. I'm sorry. I was only talking if SmackDown had the availability for Swerve to go. I want Swerve on SmackDown.
I want Hit Row to get called up together. I'll tell you that right now. I think that Hit Row could be a great staple if they let it run to the main roster like we wanted Undisputed to, but we never got the chance to see. But they don't usually do that. So whenever they do call people out, they might freaking just pick top dollar one day. That's how they just pick random people. So it's like they might just take him. They might just pick Swerve. The way they think about things, I don't know how they do things, but I would like to see Hit Row as an act get called up. But that takes a lot of steam out of NXT right now.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the best thing in NXT right now.
I think that goes back to the transitional phase. I think Swerve is a tempo. think he's
Yeah,
STEM.
I think he is.
So I don't think you do take.
You
the
can't.
title off
Yeah,
him.
we can't take the title off him yet. Not yet. But I like what they're doing with Legado. But Carmelo hit is call your shot on Swerve. You get the match, and then we see where we go from there. You know.
Shit. Anything that real quick. Anything else that
The Iconics look great.
Shit. God damn.
That's all I gotta say.
The inspiration.
Yo,
that's the title of the show.
The inspiration.
With the 2 eyes.
Yes. Oh God. Shout out to the inspiration.
Oh man.
Sometimes it be like that.
Sometimes it really be like that. Oh man.
Oh man.
Nah, man. Okay, so Adam Cole, don't know where he goes.
We know where his wife is. I thought it was gonna be the other way around, but damn.
Nah, I mean, listen. If he goes again, Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, that makes AEW. That goes, but that's my point, nigga. What the fuck you do with all those niggas?
Bray can come and go as he comes. That's how I look at it. He's like Brock to them. Like I would book Bray like you book Brock in WWE. Dan Bryan, he's gonna be putting people over. Braun is a spectacle if they get him. But talking about Adam Cole, you have the baked in relationship with the Elite and Young Bucks, so it's gonna be just content right there. So with all them niggas, I do believe that you got to then demote the Matt Hardys of the world and give them more space. I would say that because they've done what they needed to do. Dustin has done what he needed to do. I mean, not that you don't come back around every now and then.
I'm telling you this. This is my thing. If they fill out this roster with that, and I see any time given to Paul White.
Oh God.
A Matt Hardy. A Taz.
Mark Henry.
He's not on TV, so I don't give a fuck about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about niggas that like Matt Hardy got his fucking face busted open and went 20 minutes was Orange Cassidy when it is CM Punk's Dynamite debut. Listen, I'm telling you now, Adam Cole's a worker. He's gonna want to work. It got a lot of niggas to work with. If AEW just gives me weekly matches, I don't give a fuck about storylines. Give a fuck about factions, families.
I care about storylines. I do want to see them better with storytelling.
It seems like they can't. It seems like listen. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving them the same. I'm giving them the same road. Because listen. Look what they invest themselves into.
Yeah.
With what they have already.
I'm waiting for Jericho to get out the way, and maybe, just maybe, they start putting some storytelling elsewhere.
For what? Cody's gone, and it's still bad. It's still bad. I thought it was Cody. It's not even. I'm sorry, Cody. Black Power. You know what I mean, my nigga? I'm sorry. Nigga, it's still bad. It's still bad. I thought it was Cody. It wasn't Cody. It's just them. It's just a film that they have on a bad storytelling. So just give me matches. Because listen to stories. Listen.
Okay.
Hold on, bro. Before we get out of here.
I got you.
Wednesday night, the story that they told at the end of the night was 53-year-old, but actually 21-year-old Brock Anderson having his first ever singles match against Malachi Black. Tagged that nigga so many times. Literally tagged that nigga, busted that nigga open. Why is that the storyline ender of your night when Kenny Omega's your champion? Where the fuck is Miro? The TNT title. The TNT title been on TBS, nigga. Like that nigga, I ain't seen that nigga on TNT yet.
They haven't found the flow of their show, I think. But with those other pieces, I think that hopefully we get more of that.
That's my point though. You haven't found the flow yet within yourself.
It's just matches right now. It feels like it.
But I want just match. They don't even give me just match because the match they gave me was Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy. Nigga, why don't you give me Luchasaurus? Like I had to go to Rampage to see Luchasaurus and Nigga, I'm tired. You gotta designate a night on Wednesday to give me slappers. I gotta wait till after SmackDown to see that. Bitch, I fell asleep.
Great match.
And I'm watching at like 4 o'clock this morning.
I got you. Hey, AEW, there's just some constructive criticism, but I hear you though. I hear you. It's honestly something that I feel that AEW is gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good if they have an opportunity right now to really round out this Super Bowl team and go for the ring. You know, that's how I look at it. But they gotta finesse. They gotta finesse. We already feeling you. They give a lot of time to the Nightmare Factory. Wasn't really feeling it, but we'll see where those guys go. You know, giving a lot of time to Matt Hardy, and I don't know if that's
he got like 2 tag teams under him.
Yeah,
who is he? Michael P.S. Hayes? That's who he's supposed to be.
I don't know.
Big Money Matt? No, you don't have no money. You got 5 kids. I got 2. I know you ain't got no money. I know, nigga. I know. You got a wife too? Oh, nigga, you broke. That's why you still wrestling. He needs no paper and appearances checks, nigga. Like you fucking hurting.
That's funny as hell.
Nigga, what you talking about? You are not big money Matt, nigga. You are broke, nigga.
So it doesn't work for me, but yes. And when that was the first match on Rampage, on Rampage, I was like,
it was on Dynamite. It was Dynamite.
Dynamite, excuse me. On Dynamite, I just had to sit through it. You know, I didn't feel like I was like gonna try to like be entertained. I was like, all right, let me look at my phone. Let me check out this other thing. That's how I was with that intro match. But if let's say it was an Adam Cole Orange Cassidy, then
my whole thing is to also put this in perspective. What it is, the other company. We had this podcast for us to be like, yo, we're not laboring through. You feel me?
Yeah.
Especially when
I was there to see what they did with CM
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I mean.
They catch you though, because that's what happens with this. That's the game. They're gonna catch you.
So they are WWE in some aspects.
They are pro wrestling. Yeah. They are pro wrestling.
So we got that's what I'm saying. So we take that's why I say I give them now the same rope. Yeah, because if you're gonna operate business wise like that, you hook me in. Right? He comes Friday. We have SummerSlam. Yeah. Raw's trash. NXT is what it was.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I'm here for you. This is your night.
Yeah.
This is your night. All right, and then you got a second night. You give me Friday.
Yeah.
And then this CM Punk gave me 3 promos.
He's happy. CM Punk is very happy.
Bro, get on the fucking podcast, bro. You give me 3 wrestling shows, put on some fucking tights. Okay? All right, now I'll give you the first one. I don't give a fuck. I give you the first one.
Like last week.
Wednesday, I don't give a fuck about your promo. God. And then Friday, hi April, you just saw her. You just left.
All out. You got it.
All right, nigga. Listen, I'm not leaving my wife. It ain't. Listen, it's bye when I leave, and then it's high when I get back, nigga. You feel me?
Well, yo, it's really gonna be an opportunity for them, and they've been doing good. Obviously, I can't say they found something that works. That's what I'll say with AEW. There's energy there.
It's energy.
People are talking about it, you know. So
yeah,
we're here, you know, and congratulations to that, because you know. But yeah, we do have our things with AEW where it's like it's different things now, but it's still like
all right, listen,
yeah,
September 5th. It's your reset. All right? It's your reset. It's your big pay-per-view. Punk wrestles. Kenny and Christian Cage again. Moxley and some Japanese guy I probably never heard of, but hey, you know, if they bleed and hey, I'm there. You know, Young Bucks. Hopefully, it's the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros. Because if it's Young Bucks and Lucha and Jurassic Express again, you should have just gave the titles to Jurassic Express the first time.
I thought that it was going to be Jurassic Express based on the storytelling that I thought they were going with. I thought they were building up for, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus to take the titles off of. Yeah,
So
but
hopefully,
they didn't get the match.
hopefully we get a nice loot. Penta. Hey,
They put the tag team back together at least.
Thank you. That's what I fucking.
It's not even with the titles on them.
And we get Andrade. Okay, so we got Punk's first match. We got Bucks Luchas. We got Andrade Pac.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's three things.
That's three things.
All right.
After that.
What about the Painmaker? Oh, no, he's not going to be there.
Okay. After that, it's on you guys. It's on you guys. Because that's when you're supposed to be having more people come in or whatever the case be. Hopefully Kenny will be done with Christian and we can go beyond that. So I'm giving y'all niggas until after All Out. That's my thing. That's my gimmick. That's my thing. So all right, man. We had a good show. The editing is gonna be a little bit easier because our camera decided to say "fuck us."
Oh wow!
So yeah, man. Any final words to the niggas on live?
Check us out, eiwshop.com.
Come on.
We are trying to put out this new tee, Ben Ballard. Check it out. It's fire. And just keep it G. And thank y'all for listening. We out.
Peace. Save 137. Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with the camera. I don't know what's going on with the camera.
Yeah, that's